I'll look at all the sign. I'll look at them.
I'm still working on a program one. Because I'm doing the if and else.
Oh, well, that's the one with, that was the first one, huh?
Yes, sir. I'm still trying to do that. If then, if odd, then else even.
Right. I can show you that. All right. Somebody check to see if the course is streaming.
I checked earlier and
Check right now. I think I just put it.
Let me see.
And it should say program.
Yeah, it's live now. I see it live now.
All right. So now. Okay. So let's look where we left off pretty much in the chapter. We were pretty much to the end. After class, the test will be available, I think 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock to take. You have from that time until, I think it might be 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock next Wednesday. All right, Wednesday of next week. Okay? So make sure you schedule your exam. All right, so we went over most of this. Okay, let's see. Let me get one here. All right, so now, okay. All right, so let's look here. So we kind of went over the mathematical expressions. I think this is somewhere where we somewhat left off. But let's look at it. I'm gonna go back to the and look at the where is it? I wanted to look at the static cast. Everybody remember how the static cast works? Static cast. What's static cast? Changing the data type of a value of a variable. Yeah, we went over the associative properties, but static cast. All right. Can't find static cast. Okay, type converter. This would be it. This is the ranking. Okay, division. Because we talked about dividing a number by an integer by an integer is going to yield what? What data type? Integer. Remember? Because what? It's the same data type. No matter if you store it in a float, it's going to give an integer and store what? That integer value. Now, if you have an integer on the expression side, an integer divided by a float, then it's going to what? Promote that expression to a float value, and then if you're storing it in a float, then you can get those decimal places if there's decimal places in the value. All right, so we looked at that. There we go, typecasting. Now, what typecasting is? Typecasting, you know, when we just talked about where we took a value and we say divided it by an int value and we divided it by an int value. We're going to get a return of int, correct? What we can do with typecast, rather than create a variable of float, we could take that int variable, typecast it as a float, so it'll be used as a float, but doesn't change the value, the data of that variable. All right, you're not changing the data type, you're not changing the value, but you just using it as a float. So therefore now when I divide that int by int, but I typecast it to a float, it can promote that expression and I can get my decimal, all right? Without me having to go back and try to create another variable. Okay, so that's what this program does. So if you look at it, we have a what? We have an int value for what? Books. We have an int value for month. But then look what happens here. If we divide just books by month, we would return a what type value at this point? An int value, correct? But look what they did. Per month is equal to static cast double books, because it doesn't matter which one it is. Anything on that side, it will promote it. So it's going to take books and convert it or use it as a double and divide by months, which is integer, and it's going to promote that expression so that it can store that decimal value to that right side. Yes?
Does by static hash and double, does it keep books as double for the rest of the
I know, just for that instance, right. Because it doesn't change books. It does not change books. Because if you try to see out books after that, books will be still an int. Right. It still would be that int. Yes, ma'am.
Why they didn't put double by per month though? Because they have double.
Double what? It got it, look.
Yeah, I'm talking about, but what you just read.
Right
about,
here?
Yeah. Why they don't have it right there?
Okay. Who could answer that question? We got a program. This is our main function. I declared per month to be of what? Double. If I do double per month here, I'm trying to do what? Redeclare it, which will cause a what? An error violation, right? Because remember, when I do the first one, double per month, it allocates somewhere in memory a location for per month, right?
Right.
And like I say, maybe nothing's there, whatever. Right now, nothing is there. But if I do again, double per month, it's gonna say, well, wait a minute. If I add another one and I reference it, which one is which? So it's like you can't violate that. Only one variable within the scope of of that same name. Okay?
All right.
You cannot mix it. Cannot do that.
So what they did was took the last part, which is per month, instead of declaring it again.
Say that again.
Double. So if you put double, it's going to declare it again. So you
Which gonna give you a
error.
error, right?
So I'm saying you only put the end of it, which is per month for that one.
Right. It's kind of like this. How would I say it? How would you use that? Your family know your first and last name, correct? But every time they reference you, they don't have to reference first and last name, right? Because when you were born, okay, whatever first name, last name. So now every time they reference you, they just reference you by what? First name. Somewhat like that. And when you declare the variable, you declare it, you give it allocated space, that's it. You cannot create another memory location because the computer would be confused as to which one to go to if you wanted to reference per month again. It's kind of like having multiple, if you got 3 cars, the same make, model, color, etc. in your driveway, and you drive one of them today, how you know the different one to drive a different one on tomorrow if they're all identical?
Same color and everything?
Everything. You really don't unless you know where you parked. You understand what I'm saying?
You just gotta look at your license plate.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, but what happens here, when you look at, when you declare a variable, that variable has that address. It only can have that one address. If I create another one, it's gonna try to give it another address with that same name, and it's gonna be a violation. All right, cannot do it. All right, just can't be done. Because you as a programmer, if you're writing a program and you got three test ones, right? I tell you input 3 test scores, all right? And you say int test 1, int test 1, int test 1. What the computer itself will be confused as to where to allocate the space for what? Each test 1. Because all 3 of them have the same what? Name. So how will it create the memory location for 3 variables with the same exact name? When you reference one of them, how you gonna know which one to go to? Test 1, it will not know. You understand? So the variables, really, for you to keep track of what you're doing, whatever. All right, and you can't have the same variable in the scope, in the same scope. Let me put my phone on because I know it. All right. So now, what happens? It divides a double by a int, and it will return a double value. Okay. So let's look at online GDB and see what I'm actually talking about. Okay. So if I go in. 27, if I do pound. Alright, so if I do this, and I do int, we know, okay. Alright, so, and then I'll do double. Alright, and then I can do what? Total is equal to NUM divided by DEN. D no, okay. Alright, so, and then I'll say C out. Now, so what happened? We have an int called num, an int called den, right? So now, total is of double. Same like, just like the program with books. Exactly the same, but it just got different variables and whatnot. But look here, num is of what data type? Int. Den is of what data type? Int. Int divided by int gonna return what type value? Integer value. Alright? So what happens is, and I'm gonna put so I'm gonna do 10, and I'm gonna divide 10 by 3. Alright?
Next to total, it say total equals num. What?
Divided by slash, that's a slash. Oh, let me do this. Let me go here. My fault. Let me change this. If I could do it. Okay. All right, can you see this now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So now, so here we have total equal total divided by den. Now, that's an int divided by int, which will return to what? Int. So what our result should be? Huh?
You mean like it should be.
What our answer gonna be?
3.
3. Only 3. Cause what? We divide the int by int, and it's gonna result into an int, and it's gonna store it into what? That float value. Correct? So when I run this, hopefully I'm not on the error. All right, the answer is 3. But is that the actual answer?
No.
No. What's the answer?
3 point something. I don't know.
3 point what? 3333. So, if in order for us to do that, we can use this on either one of these. We could say static, I'm gonna type cast, and then we'll do double, all right? And I think it's in parentheses, num. All right. So what happens is we'll take a num, all right, and made num what? Double. Now we're doing a what? A double divided by int, which will what? Promote our expression, and now it's going to return a what? A double value. So now when we go back to online GDB and we run it, what our answer going to be this time?
It's gonna be point something.
It's gonna be the 3
And then
point. Right, correct. So you understand when I run this, and now we're gonna get the 3 point. So, whoa, whatever. I got it wrong. Not the class in the school.
With static case.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's right. All right, my fault. All right, so now it's gonna take it, promote it, and look. So you understand? And like I said, if you might need to come up to the front. Yeah, so you can see better.
Oh, right.
Hello?
Wait, what you
Don't
mean?
wait till the end of the semester. Do it now. right? So what happens is, and we're gonna learn this later on, by default, you get 6 significant digits. All right, it's gonna give you 6 significant digits, but you can manipulate that using the IOMAN IP and using set precision and whatnot. All right.
Well, what you had? You had got an error.
Well, I had static case. That's why. Yeah, it's static cast. I was saying cast and writing
Oh,
case.
that's.
Right.
Oh, I need to fix that.
All right, so you see how I took that variable, I didn't have to recreate another variable, double, take this from one of these and made them double or whatever. I could keep my integer values and still do whatever. And you could do vice versa from integer, whatever. We could do the static cast on if I do static cast on a char value and the char value is A, and I do a static cast to make it integer, what would be my value? If I do int on a static cast of a char value, that's A. Huh? What? Okay, remember our ASCII table?
Yes.
Barely.
A was equal to what? 65. The decimal part of A was
I
65.
had a number too, I just didn't
Right.
remember.
So that's how you can do that type of stuff. All right? You can manipulate your letters that way. Right? So you get that static cast of it. If you say integer, get that 65. Or if you had that number, static cast it to
A chart.
a char, and you'll get that char value.
Not to get too off topic, but why would you use char like?
Because okay, say one good thing. What if you wanted to write, and some you might not, it might be a dinosaur with encryption. If you wanted to do encryption of some text, right? If I had the letter A, say, okay, give you an example, just a simple encryption. I'll take the letter A, the letters of the alphabet. I'll give you a string of text, right? Just letters. And I'll say, okay, the encryption algorithm is to bump up every character 5 characters. So now what? If I have the letter A, I do the static cast, get the value, add 5, and then print out the char value.
Right. Okay, I see it now.
You see what I'm
So
saying?
you go up 5 letters. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm going up 5 in the thing. But then you're gonna have to account for what? If I go up 5 from Z, I have to go what?
That's what
A, B, yeah, right,
You gotta go back to D.
Yeah, you gotta wrap around. So, but I'm just saying, that could be one reason why you would want to do something like
I
that.
see it.
Doing encryption.
Gotcha.
Right. All right. Any questions? Questions? Everybody understand how that works? But if you want to try to get that decimal, sometimes you got to make sure what your expression will be promoted or is at that double status. All right. Now, let's look further down. This still talking about static cast. All right. Multiple assignments and combination statements. So we look at this. We said what? You always solve on the right, and assign
To the left.
Assign to the left. So look at this. We got A equal B equal C equal D equal 12. Is that valid? Yes, because if you start to the right, what? 12, D is equal to what? 12. C is equal to D, which is what? 12. B is equal to C, which is 12. And A is equal to B, which is 12. So it just came from the right going to the left. So all of them was assigned the value what? 12. All right? Okay? So look at these expressions. X is equal to X plus 4. All right? And it says, let's see. In this example, assume that X is 6. Now, you might get confused and say, well, Mrs. Sylvester, X plus, if X is 6 here, if I do X plus 4 and get 10, why doesn't it add the 6 to the 10 here? You don't, it overwrites it. This is what happens. You have, I put the marker. Well, you have an allocated space here called X, right? 6 is the value that's located in that memory location, correct?
Correct.
So what we're saying here for that expression, we're saying whatever is in here is equal to 6 plus 4. So we're gonna solve, remember, we solve on the right. So what's 6 plus 4?
10.
10. So we take 10 and then it overwrites whatever's already there, which is the 6. So it's gonna overwrite 6 with what? 10. So you understand what
So
happened?
your answer is in front of the problem.
Right, your answer is the expression.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna overwrite the existing answer. And sometimes a computer scientist, learning computer science, tap on the shoulder. Learning computers, you be confused when you see the expression or the variable on both sides of the equal. All right. Now look at this one. X is equal to x minus 3. So that's saying, okay, 6 is equal to what? 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 is what? 3. So it's gonna overwrite 6 with 3. All right. So that's what's happening. And on and on. 6 is equal to 6 times 10. So it's gonna solve the expression and then overwrite what's already in X.
So you only do this when they tell you to assume that X is a certain number?
Well, no, it's just, well, what happens is, if X is on both sides of the equal sign, it has to be equal to something. Give you an example. Let's go to online GDP again, all right? So we're here. So, and I'll say, we'll say X again. We'll use X. We don't have to worry about this. This is irrelevant. And if we do something like X equals 6. I'll do like the book has. X equals 6, all right? X is equal to X plus 6. Plus, what was that? Plus 4. All right, that's what the book had. And if I say I'll leave total, but I have to print out X. So, if I run this, what's gonna output? 10, right? 6 plus 4, overwrite whatever's here, equals 10. So I'm gonna run that, all right? And I'll get 10. Now, X could have been any number, not just 6. It could have been any number. But if X is undeclared, then you cannot solve that expression, because the computer gonna try to solve what's on the right, correct? So what X equal to? What X is equal to?
X plus 4.
What X is equal to?
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah? So here you're trying to say X plus 4. What plus 4? You don't know. So you get an error. All right? Now, this compiler may not give it to you, but the more advanced compilers will give you that error. All right? You're going to get an error. So whenever you have the expression, the variable on both sides of the equal sign, it will not solve it. That's not right. Don't try to do this. Because if I go into Visual Studio, you're going to get an error. This is a somewhat a watered down compiler, all right? So, and what it did, and back in the day, when most of the compilers was created, third generation language compilers, when you did something like this, it's automatically assumed that what? X is 0. The newer compilers today, you have to give it a value. It won't let you just say, declare this and now use it on both sides of the expression.
I don't know why it's giving me an error.
What it said?
It's about the C out.
You streaming the right way?
It's still IO stream, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying this. See out, you streaming to the console, then in double quotes I got total, and then streaming X, because X is what I'm outputting, not total anymore.
I still had a T total up in there.
Well, here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that don't matter. That's just what's going to output. But what about here? You have X?
Yeah, I have X and then I have N line.
Yeah, but did you stream it? Did you do the stream?
You talking about the quotes?
No, look here, this. You got that in between
Yeah, I have that between
and semicolon.
and the semicolons at the back.
Well, read the error message.
C out stream C in the quotations, the \n \t total colon quotes the streaming symbols, the X, the streaming
But
symbols.
well, yeah, what's the error message though? Is they have a message?
It say something about C out. It say the little things point to C out. The little what
Yeah, the
point to
streams.
C out.
Okay.
Yeah, it say before C.
Yeah, but look at the
Oh.
statement before it. What happened?
Oh, I don't have the sim. I don't
Correct.
have
You
the
don't have
thing.
a semicolon.
Oh,
Right.
that's right. That's
Right. All right. So, but class, everybody understand. And let me go to Visual Studio to show you, because some people might say, "Well, this worked in the class." Don't want you to program that way. I do not want you to program declaring variables, thinking okay, assume that it's 0 or whatever. All right. If you want to declare a variable and assign it, if it's in, assign it to 0. If it's float, assign it to 0. All right. So let me see if I got a recent program. I'll just say create a program. Come on. Man, this thing here takes a while. Should have just opened up one of these. All right. So Windows desktop. Okay, I'll just give it. Okay. F. Okay. Come on. All right. Right click, add new item. All right, and we'll CPP file. I'll leave it as source, and here we go. All right. So what I'm gonna do, class? I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna take this exact same code and copy it, and I'm gonna go to Visual and paste it. All right. So I have this exact same code, correct?
Correct.
And when I run, I'm gonna build it. Okay, Control F7. No errors. Well, I'm not error. I'm gonna have errors. See here? What it say?
Initialize local
Uninitialized. That means it's like X is an unknown. So how I'm gonna try to solve something that's unknown? Everybody got that? So you have to have a value, whether it's 0, negative something, or positive, whatever. But the simpler compilers, it'll work. It'll just throw X to be 0 automatically. All right, and then maybe some compilers, like say on the internet, may do it too. Like say if you're using PHP or whatnot, it may just take it as being a value. But you always want to give it that starting value, especially if you're using it on both sides of the equal sign. All right. So now, let's go back to the notes. So here, I can write expressions in this fashion, or I can use a shortcut. Which ones are right, which ones are wrong? Neither right, neither wrong. It's a programmer's style, all right? So look what happens here. Plus equal, minus equal, times equal, divide equal, modulus equal, modulus, all right? So now, right. So look here, x plus equal 5. That's equivalent to what? X is equal to x plus 5. So all you're doing is taking whatever you have on the left side and adding it to the right side. Everybody got that? Okay. Y minus equal 2. Whatever you got on the right side, left side, you're taking that and subtracting the 2 from that. Okay. Z times equal 10. Whatever you got on the right side, multiply that by Z, multiply Z by that. Okay. And then the divide, same thing. Whatever you got on the A, divide equal B. Whatever A is, divided by what's on the right side. All right? Now, we're looking at these are simple, even modulus. Modulus equal C modulus equal 3. Whatever's on the left side, you're gonna find the modulus of, well, you're gonna take that value and do the modulus of 3. Now, seems simple, correct? Now, if I have an expression, all right, because really now we just have what? One value, correct?
Right.
Well, like 5, 2, 10, B, and 3. But if we had 5 times C plus whatever, that would be X added to the expression. Whatever your expression is, you're adding X to it. Everybody got that?
I don't.
Okay, I'll show you. All right. So looking at this shows you.
Ooh, that's a long program.
Right. Well, it's not really long. Got a lot of comments and whatnot. But look, if you notice, store one, you got integer for begin inventory, store, sold, store 1, store 2, store 3. Now, but what happens when something was sold? All right. Well, they got a beginning inventory going to equal to all of them going to have the same what value of or number of stock, right? Whatever it is, because remember that expression, A equals B equals C equals whatever equals 12. That's what this look like. So all of them gonna have the same amount of inventory, correct? But look what happens. It says CN sold. So whatever sold, now they're doing a subtraction from whatever that inventory for store 1. So it says store 1 minus equals sold. What that mean? Store 1 is equal to store 1 minus sold. So if store 1 was 100 and we sold 10, that would say 100 is equal to 100 minus 10. And then it would write 90. All right? So
Did 90 replace 100?
correct, right. So now, what you say you didn't understand is this. Look at this. Results time equal A plus 5. Remember, you're going to take results and you're going to multiply it times what?
A plus 5.
But you're going to have to do what to A plus 5?
Put in brackets.
Solve it first and then do the multiplication. So you're going to have to put your what? Parentheses. So because you got to solve that right side expression before you multiply it by that variable. You got what I'm saying?
So whatever the result is.
Right.
What times?
That expression. Right. So you solve the expression first. You solve whatever that expression is, and then you multiply it by result. And then it stores it into result. All right? So that's what I was saying. So you got to be able to solve, then multiply, divide, add, whatever modulus, and then store it. All right? So that's what that means. So look at this. Look, this example. X plus equal B plus 5. So what? Whatever B plus 5 is, then we adding what? What we adding after that? X. All right? Y minus equal 8 times 2. We multiplying 8 times 2, and then we doing what?
Subtracting Y.
Subtracting it from Y. All right? We got Z times equal 10 minus C. What we doing first? 10 minus C, and then we multiply it times Z. So everybody understand what's happening. You have to solve the expression and then do whatever. But like I said, you can use it this way. You could use these expressions, or you can do it the long way, where you would say X equals X plus, and then in parentheses 5 plus B. All right? All right. Now, this is where you're gonna deal with a lot of your programs, and we're gonna go over the programs in a little while of how I want those programs printed. But if you look here, formatting your output. A lot of times you get numbers with E notation and some decimal places. Sometimes you may want leading zero. What do you call it? Trailing zeros, etc. All right. So to format your data, you would format your data using the IOMAN IP header file. All right. You need that header file. With that header file, we're gonna use, and I'm gonna scroll back up. These commands here. I think I got it here. Well, I'm but it's show point, fit, set precision, set W, and I think it's one other one.
Left and right.
Yeah, the left and the right, those two. So those are the different commands that you can use when you start using the IOMAN IP function. So what happens? They showed you here where they have int num1 equal this, num2 equal that, num3 equal that, num4 equal that, num5, num6, all the way to 9. Then what they did, they displayed nums 1, 2, and 3, then 4, 5, and 6, and then 7, 8, and 9. But they used what? Set W. The previous one, they just printed them, all right? So they just printed them out, and what happens is, no, this is wrong. Because it normally would print out, no set W, it would print out what? Back to back to back to back, right? You wouldn't have no space behind it, all right? But they put a single space. So you got a single space, so what happened, they printed up to the limit and added that one space, all right? And by default, when you output a value, the default alignment is to the right. Now, given that, look here, the set W. Set W allows you to set the column width in which you want to display a value, right? Whether it's a string or some number or whatever, right? So, given this, value is equal to 23. This says cout, set W, set the column width to 5, and then I'll put value. What that says is, okay, I got column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm gonna output 2, 3 in what? The fourth and the fifth column. Because what? By default, it's right aligned. All right? So, give you an example. Let's go to online GDB. All right, and it's either one we could use. All right, so let's set x to equal to. Let's see. Well, the book had 23. All right. So what I'll do, I'll take this out, and now I have to add, and I'm not gonna add it to show you what error you're gonna get. I'm not gonna add it. If I output total, I'll take total out because I want you to see the column. All right. Take this out. All right. All right. So what I'm gonna do before this, I'm gonna do cout. 1, 2, 1. Well, I'll do 1. All right, so that's just what? 20 columns, right? But
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
we're gonna do set W, and we do 5. But I'm gonna get an error here. Why I'm gonna get an error? I'm using set W, but I don't have what? IOMAN IP. So when I try to run this, watch what happens.
Cout.
All right? So I'm gonna get an error. Before this, it's saying cout, I got an error. Oh no, that's this error. Oh, excuse me. Let me run it now. Run. All right. Now, all right, so see what it said? Set W was not declared in this scope, all right? Meaning what? We didn't even load the library so that we have set W to use. So I need to go here and do what? Pound include set W.
No.
I mean, man, I'm sorry. Oh, man, you're right. Man IP. Now, once I set this, I can use all those different commands I was telling you about, and plus others. So when I run it, now you're gonna see all right. I didn't do headline, my fault. So it can show you on the next line what happened. All right. All right. So look here. Cout 1 to well, really 20, but you know, 10, 10. So look, see out set W5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then within those 5, that column width, output 23. Now, it outputted 23, justified where? To the right. By default, that's why it will put it. But check this out. If I do this, all I have to do is left, right? And it's gonna what? Now it's gonna put it what? In the very first position of the line. So when I run it this time, I done took off the default value of right justified, and now it's gonna be what? Left justified. All right, so you see? Now, I'm gonna show you this. But then if I output something else, if I do something like this, and I'll say, y is equal to 3, I'll say 2. All right, I'll just say 5. All right, now, then I'll go here and I'll say, okay, I'm not gonna do anything but y in line. Now, normally if I do output x and then I output y, the number's gonna be what? Back to back. It'll be like 2, 3, 5, correct? But it still will be that because everything right now is what alignment? Left alignment. So watch, let me run it. So you're gonna just see, it's gonna look like it's one number, all right? No, it's to the left. Scratch that. It's to the left. Now watch. It's gonna have the number in the first 5 columns, and in column 6, it's gonna start with what? The next value. So that way you don't have to try to put double quote space, double quote in your stream. If you set column width and you set enough room at the beginning or the end for the value, all you need to do is output that data, all right? But if I wanted 5 to be right aligned, all right? And like I said, the default, I think the tab is 5. I'm thinking the tab. So if I printed out y without a right align, I think it'll be at the 0 position, at the 10th position. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a set W to, I'll say 8, all right? And then I'll do right. Because what? As long as I have left alignment, it's gonna stay until I change it to right alignment. Everybody got that? So in your program, when you start outputting your data, if you want something right aligned, right. If everything else should be right, you don't have to use that command again. But then if you want left, you're gonna have to say left, whatever. And then if you got to go right back right, you're gonna have to put right. All right? So now, and I need the stream. So, looking at this. So, the first 5, left align, we outputting what? 23. Then the next 8, which is gonna start at what? 6, and gonna stop at what? 15, right? And then it's gonna print right alignment, it's gonna print the number 5. All right? So that's gonna give us more space in between what? The X and the Y value. All right? Miss, what's your name? You paying attention? Huh? Alright.
Mine said lost connection to server and stopped.
Oh, so that must be what happening with this.
Yeah, my thing doing the same thing. It's been doing it for 5 minutes too.
It stay connected, but
It's taking.
yeah, well, that's what
That's what happened to me.
Right, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this control, if I can do it right. I'm gonna do control A. C, and I'm gonna go to here, Control A and V. All right, so I have it in here. So now I'm gonna run it, okay? Control F5. All right, so you see here, well, it started at 13. So 5, oh yeah, 5 and 8 is 13. That was easy. All right, so what happened is, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the position for the X. Then starting from 6, 8 over to 50 to the 13 column, and it's right aligned printing the 5. Now, you might say, well, Mr. Sylvester, what happens if the value overflows the columns? It does not give you an error, it just moves it over. Because it says that set W gives you the minimum column width, okay? So it won't give you an error, but your data can be screwed up in your output. So when I run it again this time, you're gonna see that 13 is not, see? What happened, it took what? It took this and moved it over one extra, right? But it didn't give me an error, right? It's tried to fill up the 5 columns, but it had one extra. And then what? After that, I had to do 8 more, and it started from that point on with 8 more column width. All right? So it won't give you an error, but the data can be all shifted depending on when we get to looping and you start printing out data and your values are increased and decreased and whatever. All right? Now, also this for the assignment, all right? That's setting width. Here we go, and we talked about left and right. Set precision. Set precision by itself gives you the significant digits printout of value using the significance digits, all right? What I mean by that, by default, remember we printed 10 divided by 3? And they give us 6 significant digits by default. That's what we'll get. So if I do that, let me go to visual. The visual. And I'll do this. I'll say, okay, X is 10. Okay. X is 10. Y is 3. All right. Double total. So here, what we'll do here, we'll just say is equal to static cast double X divided by 1. Okay. So now I'll see out that, and now I'll see out we're working with set precision. So I'll let this, I don't need it, I'll just set this to 12. All right, set this to 12. All right, but then I'll do total left. All right. So we're gonna output total, and I'll just do set W to 12. All right, so let's run this. So when I run this, all right, by default, I didn't use set precision. I don't need to. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 significant digits by default. Now, what I can do, all right, and then it printed the X and the Y. What I can do, all right, and it had it in the book, I could do C out. I'll do set W12 again. 12. And I'll say left. And then I'll say set W, set precision, I mean. And then I'll do, I'll say 5, all right? And then I'll say total, all right? So now what? By default, it was 6, right? I said 5 here, so now it's going what? Give me 5 significant digits, which is going to reduce the number that it's going to display. All right? So when I run it, oh, I know what happened. All right. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody see that? So now, and if I keep going down, it'll keep going down also. Now, class, you got to remember, if a number, if this was 3, well, I'll do it. If this number, well, let's see, totally do that. Okay. I'll do this. All right. So now I got 3, 3, 3, 3. So what that's gonna do, that's gonna take up what? 2 additional significant digits, correct? Right? So when I run this time, watch what happens with my decimal. All right. So look, still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's not determining, depending on the number of decimals, the number of significant digits. All right. Because if this was what? 336.300, it'll just print what? 336.3, right? Because the zeros are not significant. Everybody got that? All right? All right, so, but it's printing the significant digits. All right, so that's what the set precision by itself does. But now, if I use set precision with fixed, all of a sudden, like here I could do set precision, and then I could say fixed, no, set precision 3, and then I'll do fixed. All of a sudden now I'm dealing with my I'm dealing with my decimal places. Here I'm saying I want 3 decimal places. I'm not dealing with what? Significant digits anymore. I'm dealing with my decimal places. All right? So when I run this time and I look at that last result, not the first one, but that last one. Oh, yeah. See here? 3 decimal places. Oh, yeah. Well, you can't really understand because that's scientific. Okay. Let's do it like this. Let's set it to 1. Let's set it to 1. So now what? I should only have 1 decimal place for that last number. All right? See here? It changed it to just 1 decimal place. So everybody understand? So your assignment, when I told you I want 2 decimal places for those dollar amounts, set precision, whatever, fixed. Then I said I want 1 decimal place for hours work, set precision, 1 fixed, right? So that's how you would do that, okay? So now, let's look at, anybody have any questions about the set precision?
That's the program. So you talking about the set
I think it's 2 or
precision?
3 of them, one on with a wage and whatever. So let's look at the programs and I'll kind of go over them to show you what exactly I want in the program, right? Need to get to, all right, so now, what's his name, Mr. What?
My James?
Who you talking?
All right, here we go. So we got our chapter 3 program, right?
Right.
Come on up. All right, so our chapter 3 program, let's look at it, all right? The first one. The first program, basically it says what?
Wait, hold on.
Write a program that will allow a user to input, and that's there, it should be 3 integers, calculate and print the product of the 3 numbers, and determine if the product is odd or even. So, prompt the user, right? Please enter, please enter, please enter, correct? But the output, I want you to output the product of, whatever that number is, Now, I don't want all that in one string because you don't know what the numbers are. You're gonna have to stream out what? The product of, then stream the first variable, comma, you're gonna stream that with spaces in it. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, never mind, I see.
Then you're gonna stream the next variable, and then you're gonna stream what it is, well, I'm at. Is with spaces in it. Well, no, and with spaces in it, and then stream the next value, and then stream is, and then stream the actual product. Everybody understand that? Everybody got that? Okay? So that's how that's gonna be. Now, the thing is, you gotta tell whether the number is even or odd. Okay, so looking at this. So I have a number here, whatever this number is, or let's say, I'll say take the number, take X, right? So, here is an if statement. You gotta determine if it's even or odd, right? How you determine if a number is even or odd?
If it has a decimal place, I mean, not a decimal place, if it's,
The ASCII,
If it has a decimal place, if it what though?
I don't know,
Okay, the number 10.0,
even.
how? It got a decimal place?
If you modulus to it, you get a zero.
Don't get a remainder, right? You get 0 for remainder. You got what I'm saying? Right. You get 0 from the remainder when your modulus is by 2. All right. So y'all should know how to do that, right? That part. Now, this is the other part. This is the if statement, and we'll get to this in the next chapter. Normally, if what? I'm using X. I'll say if X. Well,
And we can't use it, the if statement right now? You don't want to-
yeah, I want you to use it to determine here. All right. So your thing is if I'll say if X modulus, I'm gonna just put modulus 2 equal
is the other stuff with it?
equals 0. All right. If that is equal to 0, well, that ain't equal to 0. It's equal to 0. All right, Mr.
Oh, wait, no.
I ain't got it. What is it? All right. So then what? Oh, that ain't right either. Watch it. Right. Then this would be the true part, else this is your false part. So if X modulus 2 is equal to 0, then see out. All right. And I'm just putting this as an example. All right, so that's an example of a C out. And I just asked the question all at one time, rather than create a variable, right? So, if I run this, see? The number is even. Now, if I do, yes, sir.
We take points off and create an additional variable for.
Right. So I made X11. Let's run it again. I'm gonna get to you, miss. Run it again. The number is odd. So you understand, bless you? See that? The number is odd. So basically, this right. Yes, ma'am.
I was finna ask y'all the extra stuff, is that for that too?
What extra stuff? Up
Oh,
at the top?
the set W, is that?
I know that doesn't have anything. I just used this program to show you that if statement because some people had some issues with the if. Alright?
Okay, I'm trying to get a picture.
Yeah, and you trying to get a bit don't
It's a
understand.
live stream.
Huh?
It's live stream though, so
It's live what?
it's live stream.
Right. you
Oh,
can
that's
get
right, I
video,
just
right,
look
right,
at it now.
Right.
You said earlier.
Right. Alright, so now let's look at our other program. Alright? Let's look at the other program. So that's what I want. That's the output I want, right, class? Now you don't have to print out this else output, right? That's just stipulating you're gonna output either it's even or your output is odd. Alright? The next program. All right, program number 2 of that page. You got write a program that will allow a user to input the information shown in the example below from the keyboard, right? So you're gonna be prompting the user. Input what? Employee name. Name should be first and last. Now, class, what's the hint in this? First and last.
Name should be first.
So what you gonna use to get the name?
Get line.
Get line, because what? Get line will allow you to get from the beginning all the way to what? The return. If you use CN, it will only grab up until the space, and then the other part will try to be stored into the next variable. Oh, see, don't sleep and you catch all that stuff. All right, so now,
You want the
job.
last name first?
Just first and last.
Okay.
Now, employee, the job title. Job title can be what? Multiple words too, right? So
Cashier
you
and
should
stock.
use what?
Cashier and stalker.
Get line, huh?
That's 2 job titles, cashier and stalker.
No, but what about IT specialist?
Oh,
So you understand?
Okay,
So you
yeah.
gotta count for all situations when you code it, right? Not saying, oh, well, on my job we just do. No, you gotta make it versatile, right? So you would use the get line. Then you got wages. Wages is a what data type?
wages int.
Uh-uh.
Oh, wait, no. It's float.
Right, because you got decimal. You got some people make 850, some 25, 1080, 80, whatever it is. You make so much per hour,
And
right?
employ in hours is int. Wait,
Let me ask you this question. See, you got to look at it realistically. You go to work on a job and you work 6.5 hours for 5 days that week, and they only put in 6. You'd have been shorted how many hours?
half of the hours.
2.5 hours. Because what? 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5. They couldn't put it in because it was in, right? So you got to make it the way you're doing it realistically. Now, so all those will be afloat. But then look what it says. Once entered, the tax deductions should be 17.2%. So you're gonna what? Deduct that from what? The gross pay to get the net pay, right? So you're gonna have to know how to calculate to get those deductions. Everybody got that, right?
So we make them put in the first and last name, job title, the employee's wage, and the hours worked.
Right.
So then
You still have to create these variables too, though,
we have to create
for the deduction, for the taxes, or you could just use the whatever percent. You could use that, but you got to store it somewhere. All right, one long expression, and if it's not right, you got to figure out where the problem is. But you writing the code, step by step by step by step, right? Then you want to calculate the gross pay. Gross pay gonna just simply equal what? We're not doing overtime, huh?
Sure, waste time hour.
Wages time the hours, right? And then the net pay gonna be what?
Your gross minus.
Minus deductions, right? Or whatever that deduction, right? All right. Now it says what? Using the command set precision fixed, right, left, show point, and set W. All right. It says output the column headings as headings and results to match the sample output given. This is a sample of the output. I'm giving a column width of the name column, right? Column width of the job title column, right? And that's the column, the variable too. All right, Miss Russ.
So it had to
All
be.
right.
So it had to look just like
Just right.
just like this.
Now the column width for wages, hours worked, and taxes. All right. Wages, hours worked, taxes is 10. Net pay and gross pay is 12. The column width. So when you're doing your C out, you're gonna have to manipulate that. How we use it, set W, whatever. And I want it in the same order. Now, it says that the net pay, well, we're not there. Well, look here. I didn't say it. But look, the wages, the gross pay, taxes, and the net pay, how many decimal places? Only 2.
2.
Hours worked, how many decimal places? Even if it don't have a number, should be what? 1 decimal place. By the understanding?
Yes.
And we went over that with set precision, right?
Right.
It's picked.
I get it skipped already.
Now, if you look at this, name is left aligned. Job title is left aligned. Wages, hours, gross pay, taxes, net pay, they're all are right aligned. Everybody got that? Everybody understand that? That's that assignment. Next assignment, pretty much the same, but what you're doing, write a program that will prompt the user only once for 5 test scores. Now, how would you do that, class?
Make them all in,
What? One see-out statement. I want you to write this program with one see-out statement to input all 5 scores.
into 1.
Please enter 5 test scores. Then you would do what? CN,
That's 1.
the first one, stream the second, stream the third, stream the fourth. Not keep doing see-out. Only one see-out. Everybody got that? Remember when we, I think we did in this class, we did a CN, X, Y, and Z all at the same time and say, please enter 3 numbers. And we just separated them by a space and hit enter and it accepted all 3. But I said 5 this time, so you're just gonna add 5 of them. Now, it tells you here, all test scores must be displayed with 1 decimal place. When you output it, you have to use the set precision. The average must be displayed with 2 decimal places. So set precision for that with fixed. Output column headings using a column width of 10. So 10 for this, 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 10 for this. Even when you're outputting the numbers. 10 for this, 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 10 for this.
So
But
a column, you mean
set W.
a column with
Set W. Then we use that set W and then we output it to the left or to the right or whatever.
So you say set W and then you put left or you put right. to
Right.
see
Now,
what
if
side
you look at this, all of the numbers are what?
going from the left
They're on the left.
to the right.
Right. They're on the left side,
On
right?
the left side.
You see? They're going
So
left to
you
right.
Set W left.
Right. Correct. Everybody got that? All right? Now, that's that assignment, but you still got to calculate the average. You got to know how to do the average function, correct? Or expression. This next assignment, this is the last one. I gave you an expression. What is this? How would you say this?
square root of b
Square.
plus 4ac.
Right. So this is what? When we use a square root, if we use square root in our program, we're going to have to use the CMAT library.
C math.
Right. Everybody understand it? And then we could use the SQRT function to do the square root. And to give an example, look here, class. If I do this, I'm gonna take this out. If I do this, if I'm gonna use the square root, I'll do pound include. All right, CMAT. But now I have various functions I can use, but we're using square root. If I do this, C out, and I'm gonna just do C out. C out SQRT 100. What that's gonna give me, class? What's the square root of 100?
10.
All right. So, but I could have said here x is equal to square root of 100, where x would be equal to what? 10, right? So when I run this, and it's gonna print it. Where? See here?
Yes, and they got
10.0,
You
yeah.
have a zero behind the 10.
Right, because I
Yes.
think it's flow. Well, no, it just printed it in that fashion. It just took for granted that it was flow. But everybody understand that.
And wait. And for the back to the other one.
What that?
You said you set what?
Set W.
Set W.
Right. Those commands are all in them notes. I gave y'all the notes, right?
On the announcement page, or was it announcements?
Did I get that PDF file? I emailed y'all.
Yeah,
Oh, no, the book,
textbook.
Yeah, we got the textbook.
Yeah, I
We
thought
had
you
the
like something
textbook.
else.
Right. You got this, right?
Yeah, we just
So
gotta go
you
look at the notes.
look at, man,
I thought
Or
you had something else.
the video to
man.
see what he said.
Alright, right? And like I said, I could have still did here, I could have said X is equal to SQRT, and then I could have said what? I could say power,
Oh, I think I know why it's printing with the decimal. If you looked at it when you were typing it in, I think in CMAT, square root is built as a double.
right, and what happens, cause if I do the square root of 5, it's gonna try to give me whatever, right? Rather than just give me 4, right? Right, so here I can do the power of this plus, you understand? So here, a semicolon. What it's gonna do here, just gonna take the square, wait, that's wrong here. Yeah, the square root of, it's gonna say the power of 4 squared is what? 16, right? And then it's gonna add 16 to 100, and it's gonna give me 116 and give me the square root of 116, alright? And so when I run it, see those, where is it? Oh, 3.2. Right. Is this 3.2? 100? No, that's wrong.
You just did square root of X.
Yeah. Oh, wait, the power of this plus this. Oh,
Wait,
no, but this should add
It's using
this.
the,
Is it adding, using the 11 that you already
Static
declared
double.
up top?
Because it's gonna override it.
oh, okay.
The power of 4, this is 4 comma 2 is 16 plus this,
that's 160,
no, not 116.
116.
And the square root of 116 should be a little over 10. The square root of 4 comma 2, power of this plus 1. And it could be my parentheses, but,
It might be.
and I get 3.2. No. Let's go back here. So the power, let's see.
It is taking your square root of 11.
Wait, you gotta put 2 parentheses.
Square root of 11 is that 3 point whatever.
Yeah, but it should be,
It should be overriding, I know.
no, but it should be the square root of 116 though, huh? Cause I'm
No,
getting
you
them.
had it right now.
Yeah, you say, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I said I need to do the power and then add. You know, that's what I think I was doing. Yeah. What I do? It ain't gonna give me the answer. No.
Oh, why is it still 3.2?
But like he said, it get coming out to 11.
3.2 is the square root of 11. I think it's just not overriding x, and then at the bottom when you're c-outing the square root of x, it's using the 11 from the top.
Oh,
Yeah.
But it should. Well, let's do this. It should know. It got to override it. Oh, and it's in. No, but. Let's see. Oh, yes, because I'm printing out the square root of it. Yeah, I'm calculating the square root, but then I'm getting the square. I'm doing it twice. You see, that's what happens. See, I'm getting the square root
Oh,
here.
you're taking the square root
Yeah,
of
I'm taking
7.
yeah. So
He didn't know
that,
that's
it
what he
was
was
right.
doing.
It was right. Let me put it back. All right. So here, I just want to print out X, right?
Right.
And now it's gonna give me the 10 point whatever, yeah. So yeah, I was looking at it wrong, alright? Or 11. What's happening now?
I think it's the dollar.
Computers do take a long time.
What's going on?
So, Mr. Sylvester, so every time we
Yeah,
do-
but class, so you can go. The test has been posted, and do your assignment, right? So what my programs do?
the ninth,
Huh?
the ninth
Ninth?
March at 11:59 p.m.
Alright.
I was finna ask you, so
What's
every
that?
time we do assignments, we gotta do the C file with our name and stuff.
Yeah, that header file, yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah, look. There we go. Man.
wait, you finally
It
get
was
rid
just
of
that 10.7 was so close to 11
Right,
that it looked
threw
like
off,
it was
didn't
taking the 11.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, what about it? You wanna redo it? Read it. Look at it. Tell you if it's right or wrong.
I just Sylvester.
Alright. Oh, you were really on. Oh, you
Ooh,
know,
I'm jealous. I'm
who
just
that little
saying.
championship,
Dealing with Frank.
they went really hard. They still in.